Good evening, and welcome to the Sacred River Journey. Tonight, we journey along a sacred river that cascades down from the Himalayas of Western India, then empties into the saltwater tides of the Bay of Bengal. A river formed from the melting ice of the Gangotri Glacier merges with rivers of the Himalayas to create the Ganges, or the Ganga River. You join the river as it flows southeasterly over mountain peaks and forms a canyon. As you embark on this journey downstream, you'll experience sensations of fluidity and warmth as your muscles and body relax, surrendering to the tide. Your imagination may be used to self-soothe as you surrender to every sensation and sensory memory inspired by the Ganges. You'll embrace the tidings of the Ganges that are also within you. The ability to go with the flow, to nourish, to nurture, and to create abundance and peace around you. You'll travel through mountains and plains, through verdant valleys that host ghats and sacred temples, and to tidal mangrove forests in the largest delta basin in the world. It is time to retreat from the waking world now. In the safety of your room, in this protective healing space, you are free to be in your most natural state. Make yourself comfortable in bed, adjusting pillows and blankets as needed. And when you are ready, close your eyes. Feel the softness of your eyelids on your eyes. They rest like pillowy shades, blocking out the world and drawing you into the rich landscapes that exist within you. Throughout this visualization, you'll embrace the softness to be found within you and among the varying landscapes of the Ganges River. Take a deep breath in and feel your belly expanding. Then sigh out the whole breath and feel your body becoming heavy. Inhale again. Exhale again. And notice the fluidity of each breath and how your body undulates like the tides of a great river, like the tides of the Ganges. It is natural for thoughts to surface, and if they do, use your breath to blow them away like clouds in the sky. Your breath is your vehicle, and it may transport you wherever you wish to go. It reminds you of your fluidity and grace as we travel to the Indian Himalayas. In the soft darkness, you focus on your breath as you float through time and space to the headwaters of the Ganges River. Time flows differently here, like a dream within a dream. You venture to a time where the world is still pristine. You are free to magically float and travel on the wings of your imagination, free to hover above the landscape or to immerse yourself in the river's tide. This is your time, and you are free to move through it in the way that most suits you. You drift through a clear blue sky above the snow-capped Himalayan mountains of western India. On the cusp of spring, the Gangotri Glacier and surrounding snow begin to thaw. In the golden white rays of sunlight, you can see the trickling fresh water as you explore the source. Crystal clear water streams out of the icy blue mass. Rainbows form as sunlight kisses the river's mist. You hear the sounds of cracking ice and the melodic babble of flowing water. Their spontaneous song soothes you. You travel to the confluence of Himalayan rivers, coming together to form the Ganges River, or Ma Ganga, as known to the locals. The hypnotic trickles crescendos into gurgles and a steady hush from the rapids. You take in a deep breath and smell the Himalayan pines. The pine trees line the mountain cliffs and cover the riverbanks in a lush green blanket. Their fragrance is minty and woody and mingles with the mineral smell of the cool mist that rises from the headwaters of the Ganges. This mountain air is fresher and cleaner than any air you've inhaled in recent memory. It purifies you and conjures memories of drinking a glass of cool, refreshing water. As the air travels down your body, it feels the same as a cool drink cascading down your throat. And with each deep breath, you feel cleansed from within. Over history, countless people have come to the Ganges River. They have come to be purified as they swim and bathe in the sacred water. And you now can experience this same purity. The air is brisk yet comfortable. You drift between mountain peaks, following the Ganges as it cascades down the mountainous landscape, thousands of feet in elevation. The rapids are lively, and ivory caps form on the aquamarine waves. A canyon forms where the river has eroded the Rocky Mountains over time. The riverbank is lined with beige rocks, and you watch a tribe of mountain goats walk towards the river. Their black hooves easily balance on the tumbling stones as they trek to the water's edge. Their long and shaggy sand-hued hair blows on the spring breeze and shimmers in the sunlight like corn silk. They're carefree and are one with the environment that nourishes them. And their pink tongues lap up the cold, rippling water. You note the sensations in your body as you glide through the landscape. You feel weightless and soft, and you travel with the same fluidity of the river as it flows below you. You take in the simplicity of the natural surroundings and realize how everything around you is vital and sacred. How the existence of the water and sun nourish the land, allowing life to thrive. And to honor life, you must honor your body and the sacred need for rest and ease. You arrive at the most pristine part of the Ganges, where Hindu legend says that the Milky Way transformed into 1,500 miles of flowing water to wash the sins of humanity. Ma Ganga, the Hindu goddess of purification and forgiveness, gave the river its namesake. She is the river, personified as a beautiful woman riding a sea creature known as a makara. You float above the waterway and feel welcome in the mist made by the rapids. You sense Ma Ganga's nurturing energy and the encouragement to let go of anything you may be carrying. Thoughts and feelings that no longer serve you can wash away now. You feel the crisp air as you drift with the winding river that has been heralded as reclaiming order from the disorder. And like the river, you can reclaim order out of the disorder that may cloud your mind from time to time. By surrendering to the moment, you may find order one conscious breath at a time. In your body, you feel the alignment that comes when you simply float. Your body and mind find order, and the spirit of the river reminds you that rest is sacred, flowing and undulating with the tide. The Ganges River massages away tension and releases you from anything that does not feel good. You notice how the sensation of being in motion and the silky fluidity of the pristine water to your mind. The further along you float, the more still and relaxed you feel. And you notice you become more and more at ease with every undulation and ripple that forms on the water. The sun is now a tangerine orb, casting the North Indian plains in a warm light. The landscape changes, and the temperature is warmer the further southeast you travel. The warm rays of light shine behind you and illuminate the tawny green water in an amber glow. The river brings life and fertility to the region. The pace of the Ganges slows with the drop in elevation, and soft ripples form as the waterway widens. It is as still and wide as a deep blue lake. The air is made fragrant by the rich earth, and it smells of damp soil and vegetation. In the valley of the Himalayas, the Ganges flows through spiritual centers, steps known as ghats that lead up from the water bank begin to appear. From the rippling current, the ivory stairs appear like a bridge to the heavens. You look up to the cerulean sky. Inhale and exhale. You hear the soft, melodic hum of practitioners meditating in an ornate temple that rises above the waterway. The chorus of voices soothes you, and you silently hum along in the sanctuary of your mind. The 13-story temple rises before the lush green hills and plateaus that surround the valley. Vibrant orange roofs and trim contrast the majestic white buildings that carry an air of whimsy and mysticism. You imagine yourself joining the temple gathering and sitting cross-legged on the cool, smooth floor. Sitting by the windows of the highest point of the temple feels like being a nested bird atop the trees. As an observer, you are now on the outside looking in, and you see yourself comfortably positioned and in a meditative state. Your face is soft and neutral, and your eyes are closed. You see your body is aligned and relaxed. At this moment, you recognize how sacred your body is. It is the only vessel that you've ever been given to journey through this life. You feel a wave of gratitude wash over you as gently and reverently as the Ganges River. The sun is lowering. The sun is lowering toward the horizon, and your thoughts return to the river. You return to the waterway and travel downstream, timelessly floating through the gently rippling currents. And there, you arrive at the Ganges Delta. The thick and humid air carries the briny scent of the Indian Ocean. The delta retains the warmth of the day, even as the sun begins to disappear behind the mangrove forest of the riverbanks and the wide, honey-hued water. The salt-loving mangroves have dense roots that you imagine running deep into the riverbed, trapping sediments like guardians of the land that delay erosion. Their kelly green leaves are leathery, strong, and resilient, and they remind you of your own resilience and inner strength. The sun shines behind a stray palm tree or two. Dappled throughout the vista, the tropical trees create silhouettes against a silky canvas of the pink and orange sky. You listen to the rustling of palm leaves and the mangrove shrubs in the warm breeze. Within the delta, the water is as warm as bath water and feels like liquid satin. Wooden fishing boats dapple the waterway with vibrant red, turquoise, and orange stripes painted on their weathered white planks. You imagine being nestled within one of these vessels, bobbing back and forth with the tide. The air is perfumed with aromas, reminiscent of tropical fruits and flowers. You watch the fiery sun lower behind the verdant islands and glassy water. The now magenta and purple sky holds on to the last rays of tiger orange sunlight, and light pours over the water like molten lava, rippling across an island. Everything about this moment is soft, from the tide to the warm light, and from the temperature to the tranquil songs of birds in the mangroves. And you note how much more relaxed you feel now than when this journey began. The tropical climate softens your body, and it surrenders like warm candle wax. The sun disappears, and under the coolness of a twilight sky, you continue flowing toward the Bay of Bengal. A silvery crescent moon takes center stage in the indigo blue sky. Stars, like glimmering white freckles, shine brightly against the dark canvas of night. Frogs chirp from the emerald swamplands of the delta, like the taut high strings of violins, and their calls echo over the soft hush of the wind through the mangroves. Waves lap softly against the boat, creating a consistent rhythm. You take a deep, long breath, filling your lungs to their greatest capacity. Nighttime brings cooler temperatures, causing the air to smell cleaner and pure. When you exhale, you feel cleansed and at peace. Your journey on the Ganges has been purifying. It has cleared the way for deep stillness and rest. Peace resonates in your body and mind while you float away from the delta. You enter the open waters of the bay and arrive at a confluence of twinkling sky and glittering water. The Hindu legend resonates, and you now understand how the Milky Way could come down to earth and create this sacred river. As you drift between the sea and sky, you float between your waking life and sleeping life. You feel your body surrendering, floating, and drifting. This journey is just a reminder of the sacred vessel that carries you through each day and night. With sleep and rest, you honor and restore your body so it may continue to serve you. You float through the bay, feeling the warm night air waft over you like soft cotton sheets. In a dreamy haze, you imagine floating across the water and ascending toward the night sky. Feathery and light, free of worldly concerns, you drift across the Milky Way. You drift away towards a night of healing and restorative rest, to the sacred land of deep sleep and sweet dreams. I'm going to count you down as you cross over to your sleeping life. 10. Surrendering to the softness of the night. 9. Feeling gratitude for this sacred moment. 8. Free of thought. 7. Feeling safe and well. 6. Finding release in all parts of your body. 5. Floating and drifting in peace. 4. Breathing with ease. 3. Melting into deep relaxation. 2. Light and easy, you drift along. 1. You are now free to fall into the warm embrace of sleep. May you enjoy this night of healing rest. good night and sweet dreams.